Alcohol, the socially acceptable narcotic. It's been a part of Australian culture since the arrival of the First Fleet. We seem to take every excuse to drink alcoholic beverages, from barbecues to parties to dining out in restaurants. Everyone knows that alcohol has negative effects, but few stop to research the true extent of the problem it can cause for our bodies, nor do we consider the damage the substance does to our society. We need to take a step back and ask ourselves, how bad is Australia's alcohol problem? And if it really is that bad, how can we mitigate the issue? The first thing we need to do is figure out exactly how bad the alcohol problem in Australia is. More than 1 in every 10 Australians drink alcohol at a level that places them in a risk of lifelong harm, with 1 in every 4 drinking dangerous amounts of alcohol on at least one occasion every month. What's worse, based on a survey of 1,884 detainees, 29.6% of current offences were related directly to alcohol, while a South Australian government survey states that alcohol is related to 30% of road accidents, 65% of major or minor assault charges, 34% of falls or drownings, and 16% of child abuse cases. Research indicates that alcohol may also be directly linked to exacerbating the issue of depression in Australia and may be partially responsible for the very high suicide rate in Australia, especially among young males. While most people know of at least some of the effects of alcohol, usually the mildest narcotic effects such as confusion, loss of coordination, vomiting or passing out, what is usually ignored is the more harmful or permanent effects, especially the ones that come with long-term alcohol abuse. These include permanent damage to the cerebellar or frontal lobe, the parts responsible for coordination and reasoning respectively, as well as permanent cognitive damage, confusion, hallucinations, loss of short-term memory, numbness, and even seizures. So, we have established that alcohol is harmful and a danger to our society. It's my belief that laws related to alcohol should be changed, but changing the law may be easier said than done. It is heavily ingrained in Australian culture, and, as we've seen in America, people tend to react badly to it being banned. The legal age to drink in Australia is 18 in all states. This age only applies to public drinking or private drinking with a responsible adult. Responsible service of alcohol is dependent on factors including the age of the underage person, whether the adult is unduly intoxicated, if the underage person is unduly intoxicated, whether the underage person is eating food while drinking alcohol, if the adult is responsibly supervising the underage person's alcohol intake, or the amounts of alcohol being supplied and the time it is supplied over. The maximum driving blood alcohol concentration is 0.05 for those with licenses and 0 for P-platers or below, with serious prison sentences to those who offend this rule. In addition, it is completely illegal for unduly intoxicated or underage people to consume alcohol in public. We know something needs to change when it comes to alcohol. It causes too much harm to simply ignore. But how can we reduce the risk of alcohol without triggering problems like that of prohibition? There are multiple ways to combat the problem that would be effective in an excellent way to reduce the issues of alcohol consumption in Australia, and thus alcohol-related harm, would be to treat it like cigarettes, using public advertisement campaigns. Another method to improve the issue would be to focus on supply and making it harder for minors or the intoxicated to acquire alcohol. There is no way of knowing exactly what to do in the face of this problem, but rest assured that if we ignore it, it will only get worse.